Radio and the Door County Daily News. It's another edition of the Faces of the Farmers Market podcast, Season 3, Episode 4. And we have a especially delicious and seasonally perfect item to talk about today, Steel Bridge Gelato. But first, got to bring in Alexa Soto from Destination Sturgeon Bay. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm so happy to have our special guest today. We have Mark Schuster from Bayshore Outfitters, Julie Wilson from Bayshore Outfitters, Eli Schuster, and Addison Wilson from Steel Bridge Gelato. Hi guys, how you doing?
Doing good.
Good. So, you guys are new to the farmers market this year. Can you tell us where you're located in the farmers market to start off?
So we're right on the corner of 3rd Avenue and I think it's Nebraska Street.
Yeah.
Right across from the Red Room.
Nice. And your tent or your setup is located right next to Bayshore Outfitters. How do you like your spot, and how do you like working next to Bayshore Outfitters?
We love the spot because we're right on the corner, basically in the middle of the farmers market, so we're catching everyone from all different angles. And it's very nice being next to Bayshore Outfitters because they help us with setup and stuff like that and anything we need.
Awesome.
We're also their parents.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, if the last names didn't give it away, Mark and Julia are the parents of Eli and Addison. And I mean, they also have a setup outside of Bayshore Outfitters, which is amazing. But to stick to the farmers market just for right now. So again, this is your first season at the farmers market. What made you guys want to come to the Sturgeon Bay Farmers Market and set up here, as opposed to any other market in the county?
I think it's probably one of the biggest ones in the county. It has a lot of people, a lot of traffic, so I just think it would be the best for business and get our name out there pretty much.
Awesome. And then, too, can you talk a little bit about why gelato? Why did you guys choose to do gelato as opposed to ice cream or any other delicious sweet cold treats?
Pretty much just wanted to have something different because if you look at Sturgeon Bay, it's ice cream, but then we want to be unique and different to stand out, pretty much.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, they were the catalyst for the west side for, gelato, because we've been needing gelato here in Sturgeon Bay. And when they started, then it seemed like it was a trickle down effect here in Sturgeon Bay, especially on our west side, which is where it was quite needed. Can you guys talk a little bit about your other places where you guys are? So I know you guys have your setup outside of Bayshore Outfitters. How do you like doing that? And then can you also talk about where else you set up?
Yeah, so the setup on Bayshore Outfitters is pretty much any day we don't have an event. We're at Harmony by the Bay on Wednesday nights. And then in the morning on Wednesdays, we're up in Fish Creek at the settlement shops where we go to their farmers market. Saturdays, we're at farmers market, and then if Sturgeon Bay has any kind of events, we're pretty much there as well.
Yeah, which we love at Destination Sturgeon Bay. Having gelato was a game changer for us, especially Harmony by the Bays, because if you guys haven't been to a Harmony by the Bay concert series, there's pretty much a line the whole time at Steel Bridge Gelato because it's such a family-friendly event. So we really appreciate having you guys, so thank you guys for coming. And then, too, Bayshore Outfitters, hi! How do you guys feel about having them on your patio? What has that done for you guys?
Well, I think it's kind of twofold. I mean, we can go back to the fact that, Eli's my son and Julie and Addison. Having it be kind of generational family business working together on our patio, part of the 26 years of Bayshore Outfitters, helping them grow their business. And, to be very honest, it's a catalyst for people to stop by us. So it works in the favor of everybody to be working together. But it's wonderful having the kids, the next generation, stepping out and doing their own business.
So a slight scenery change because sometimes life happens. So we are now in the newsroom at the Door County Media Group, and we are back to our regular scheduled programming. with the people from Steel Bridge Gelato. So Alexia, I'll turn it right back over to you.
All right, so where we left off was Mark explaining to us how much he loves having Addison and Eli at Bayshore Outfitters storefront, and then Addison and Eli also touched on where they are the rest of the summer, where their setup's gonna be. Something I wanted to get into, back to the farmers market, is so me and Brian, although Tim's here today, we always ask, what is your favorite booth at the farmers market besides your own? Brian's favorite is Erica's Tasty Treats. Mine changes weekly. Last week it was Farmhouse Leather, but usually it's DC Meats. What do you guys think your favorites are? You can say more than one.
Well, mine is definitely the preachers and his wife and their coffee.
I'd say mine has to be Fuel Good.
Oh, nice. Mark, Julie?
I think mine is the preacher and her wife, also DC Meats.
Yes, that's a classic.
Bob's Donuts, hands down. That is the most amazing donut place ever.
Tim, I want to know what yours is, too.
I was thinking that was the perfect moment for that thing you do where Tom Hanks holds up the record and says, "Hey, say that thing you do." Nobody said Steel Bridge Gelato. But I would have to say DC Meats the few times, but I would work on Saturdays and walk down. For some reason, a brat never disappoints, whether it's at 8 o'clock in the morning or at noon. And the one question, talking about gelato in the morning, I also automatically thought about the old SNL skit where it's Bill Murray. I mean, this is like original stuff, and they're at what ends up being the Billy Goat Grill. And the one guy says, "I don't want a cheeseburger. It's too early for a cheeseburger." And he's like, "No, you have a cheeseburger." Do you have people saying it's too early for a gelato? And if so, what is kind of your comment to those people? Because I'm thinking, depending on the right combination, gelato could be excellent at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning.
I just always tell them it's never too early for gelato. And then if we have a fruit flavored one, I'm like, there's fruit in it, so
Oh, that makes it
it's a
healthy.
breakfast. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it healthy. What are some of the flavors that you have for gelato?
We have a Biscoff cookie butter, Amarena cherry, a banana cream pie, which is my favorite,
Yum.
mint chocolate chip, lavender vanilla, mango sorbet, a bunch of sorbets. Want to name those?
Chocolate peanut butter.
Yeah,
Hazelnut
we do
crunch.
the hazelnut crunch, chocolate chip cookie dough, pistachio, lots of different flavors. We're always trying new ones to kind of keep it fun and new.
And where do you get the idea for your gelato flavors?
We don't. we just order which ones like we haven't tried or really sell well. Each month Sarah's has like their specialty flavors or whatever, and we really like trying those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's been maybe the best one that you've kind of had to create?
I think the best seller.
Yeah.
I think the best seller right now is definitely the Biscoff cookie butter. Whenever anyone sees it, they always ask what it is, and I say it's those airplane cookies, and then they immediately are like, they have to get it.
Okay, that was going to be a question. I'm glad you explained that one, because I'm just like, you keep on saying this like people should know what it is. No clue what you're talking about, but airplane cookies, I get now.
Yep.
I get now.
And one thing I also wanted to touch on too is you mentioned Sarah's Gelato. Maybe for the people who don't know, you get your gelato from Sarah's, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, what made you choose them in terms of your gelato?
So pretty much the reason why we chose Sarah's, I was emailing a bunch of wholesale people around the town, around Wisconsin, and they were the first one that got back to me. And I see that they're from Green Bay, and I kind of wanted to stay somewhat local, so it kind of just worked out perfectly. And then like a week later, we get to try all their flavors, and it was perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know a lot of people, they have a location in Fish Creek,
Yep.
correct? Yeah, a lot of people, I was just up in Fish Creek the other day and I actually saw your stickers there. And I think that's awesome because Fish Creek, I mean, even all throughout the peninsula, having someplace in Fish Creek, it's a good stop for locals and, you know, visitors alike. And I think that's a great way to get your name out there too, being in Fish Creek like that. Another question, would you guys, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot a little bit, so you have gelato, is there anything else that you could see yourself selling in the future?
That's a good question.
Well, definitely we want to get a bigger trailer or something like that and expand what we can do with gelato. I think that's definitely the first thing we want to do.
What are some examples of things you want to do?
We could see doing like affogatos. We only offer like bowls right now, going to like some cones, maybe adding some toppings, stuff like that.
Awesome. And if you guys listening haven't seen their setup, it's super cute. You guys wear a little bit of a uniform. Do you want to talk about what that looks like and why you chose that uniform?
So the uniform is like a white and red apron, like a 1950s thing, and it has like the little hat, the little bow tie. I wanted to go with like a retro look, and I found them on Amazon, and it just clicked.
Yeah, and if you guys have seen their cart, it checks out. Their cart's pretty retro too, and the umbrella, it all comes together. And those outfits are so cute. I know people have come up to us and they were asking about your outfits, so I thought that was a perfect question. And then also, so back to the farmer's market too, being on that corner, you see a lot of people, you see a lot of things throughout the day. What is your favorite part, or what is your favorite thing to see at the market while you are there?
Just like the interactions, like people coming up to us asking questions and us being able to answer them. I think it's just awesome just being part of the community and helping everyone out.
Do you guys see yourselves being in the market in the future?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yep.
Not even just ours, but maybe going to other markets too.
Yeah, if we could go all around Door County, that'd be awesome.
And then also, would you guys ever be open to catering in the future for events going around besides ours? I'm saying like private events too.
Yeah, definitely. We do business cards, and then if you have like a wedding or something, we could definitely set something up like that.
And speaking of business cards, where can we guys find you? On social media? Do you have a website?
So we have a Facebook and an Instagram. It should be Steel Bridge Gelato Company, and we post where we are, hours, everything new going on with us pretty much.
And so you enjoy when people take pictures of your
Yeah.
products and
Yeah.
everything and tagging you?
Yep.
Awesome. Do you guys have anything to add for Steel Bridge Gelato?
I guess the only thing I can add is kind of what I talked about before. I think probably Julie feels exactly the same way. It's just exciting to see, these young people starting their own business, getting out in the community, taking a chance. What's the neat thing about this is their business. They put their money into it. They built their cart. They are promoting themselves. This is from the ground up, really fun and incredible to watch, this next generation of entrepreneurs in Sturgeon Bay and Door County doing something like this.
What's been maybe the biggest piece of advice that you've given them as you you're a veteran business owner at this point. What's been maybe the biggest piece of advice that maybe you gave to them that...
Don't do it. No. I don't know. I think maybe that's better for them to answer what they've heard from us. We've tried to just be there for them. We started out with weekly and bi-weekly meetings talking about the pitfalls of working with the state and figuring out inventory and all of those little nuances that go into it. That's been the big thing, and just watching them grow, they'll probably answer that we're a little bit of a pain because we've seen so many pitfalls that we'll contact them and ask them to do different things, that it's their business. So we know that, so we try to stay hands off, but we want to give them that support that a lot of places don't get when they start out.
Well, let's turn it on you. What's been the best piece of advice that they given to you, or also what's been maybe that piece of advice that they gave you that you either shrugged off or you said, I mean, make you do a spit take, or mom and dad had to kind of go, hey, remember when I told you to do that? That's why.
I can answer that.
I think one has to be the one that I shrug off the most is probably having to call the wholesaler all the time. They always want me to check in with them. That's always a little-
You were doing like emails and texts for the most part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much my one that I get annoyed by a little bit.
Definitely that is the one that I shrug off. It happens a lot, but the one that like stuck with me is like, you guys are gonna mess up the orders and stuff, and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna figure it out and stuff. So I like that one.
Is that the same one that you thought, Mark, that they were going to say the call? Or is there something else? You knew right away what the answer should have been.
That's it. And none of it's bad. It's just it's hard to learn how to be aggressive in the beginning and to understand, your sell through and how to be on top of it. And so they're learning, and that's pretty much, I think, one of the biggest ones that we're trying to help them with, because their growth has been exponential. It's amazing to see how fast they've grown within the community, and they haven't even hit their stride. So it's trying to help them continue to grow that in a positive way and not fall behind. Yeah.
Julie?
That's all I got.
Yeah. Julie completely agrees with everything that Mark
It's unanimous.
It's a unanimous.
Julie never completely agrees with what Mark says, so I want that on the record too.
Well, now that we're on the topic too, like, not even just as business owners, as parents too, do you guys, as parents, not as business owners, at the end of the day, when you have a hard day or anything like that, when it comes to business, I know they've been fully supportive of you, but is there any moment where you're like, Mom, Dad, come on, we're adults, we have our own business, and we can do this, and we don't need your help?
I definitely think there's the times where it's just like, this is our business, let us take care of it and figure it out for ourselves. I mean, we love the help, and it's been a big help, but there's those moments where I'm just like, back up a little bit, this is our stuff. What do you have to say?
No, I completely agree. There's definitely times where I wish that it could just be Steel Bridge Gelato.
Maybe we cut that.
This is now going to be titled True Confessions.
True confessions. But with that, do you have anything else you'd like to add? Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, actually, just one more time. It's really so amazing, and I'm so proud of what both of these kids have done. Young adults. Sorry, they're not kids anymore. I think if I can end it on that note, that I find myself talking about them all the time. I find myself promoting their business. One, because I'm proud of them just having a business, but because Eli's my son. Addison I've known since she was just a little munchkin, because Julie and I have worked together so long. But I can't emphasize how proud I am of them.
Aw, Mark's gonna cry.
Got dusty in here.
Aw. No, that's a perfect way to end it. We're all crying here now because of that. But no, thank you guys so much for coming on. Steel Bridge Gelato is out here. They're brand new, but they're thriving already. They're on the patio of Bayshore Outfitters. They're at our Sturgeon Bay Farmers Market from 8 a.m. until noon. They're at Harmony by the Bay. They're at the settlement shops. They're everywhere already, and you can expect to see more of them in the future. So thank you guys so much for coming on. They have their social media. Facebook and Instagram, Steel Bridge Gelato Co. So follow them, shout them out, take some pictures with their products, take some pictures of them in their outfits and their cart. But thank you guys again so much for coming on. We really appreciated having you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.